Hi, I'm Matthew Celesta with Maxfield, and we're here today to have our third lesson in our Work with Nature series, which is weed control. Our philosophy is that weeds play a valuable role in our backyard ecosystem, and using any pesticide, organic or not, is just not healthy on us or our soils. We believe that we should be making a plant community in our backyards and gardens. By having a diversity of crops and healthy soils, we will only need to control weeds rather than eradicate them completely. So let's start by separating our weeds between the bad ones and the useful ones. The bad guys tend to be either seed heavy or root heavy. With large seed producing weeds, all we need to do is remove the flower or seedling bodies. A dandelion is a great example of this. You can leave the yellow flower on, just make sure to remove it before it turns white and full of seeds. Once you've removed parts of a weed, including these dandelion heads, it's best to put them in your compost keeper and send them off to a municipal composting facility. I definitely don't recommend composting weeds unless you're completely confident with your composting ability. You can also find 101 recipes for dandelions and other weeds, including my favorite, dandelion wine. When it comes to root-heavy weeds like underground creepers and taproots, it's best to use a hoe or trowel to remove all the root mass. Be careful not to disperse soil or disrupt your crop's roots while removing as much of the root mass as possible. Taking off just the above ground biomass will only leave you with a bigger and stronger root system for long-term establishment. Now here's 4 tips that we have at Maxfield for helping you control weeds. First, plant directly into Maxfield's planting mix, which is a great mulch for your raised beds and gardens. Aiding in biodiversity and giving your crops the best chance to outcompete weeds, you are able to start to work with nature to ecologically control your weeds. Secondly, there are certain useful weeds that can either fix nitrogen or feed bees, but we just need to make sure that they are not affecting the crops that we are cultivating. It's never good to encourage weed growth, but you don't have to remove them all either. When it comes to hand weeding, let your gut guide your decisions. Third, lettuce can make a great living mulch early in a season. You can plant lettuce between corn, onions, carrots, beets, cabbage, tomatoes, and even peppers. This will keep out weeds while your other crops establish themselves, and it will also shade out weeds during the season on top of shading the lettuce in the hot summer months. Lastly, in extreme weeding scenarios, you can use cardboard and newspaper covered in hay to suppress weeds throughout the season. Either go to a prone area with weeds or anywhere you're having a hard time to manage this and gently lay down the newspaper or cardboard and cover it with the hay and water it in thoroughly. If this is done correctly, you will only have to do it for 1 season before you're back growing directly into the soil. At Maxfields, we don't mind weeding. It can be calming, relaxing, and even a little rewarding. How does weeding make you feel? Head on over to our Facebook page and tell us what you think about weeds, and I don't mean the medical kind. Come follow us on Twitter and Pinterest, and join the movement by signing up for our newsletter at www.maxfieldsorganics.com. Scroll down to find a quick checklist that'll help you control your weeds, and stay tuned by subscribing to our YouTube channel for other videos like insect management and feeding plants and soils. So until next time, I'm Matthew Celesta.